Hello guys. Today I'm going to show you how to import/export Pokemons in Kuray Infinite Fusion. Without further ado, let's get started. First thing first, we want to go in the options menu and check our import options. To do that, we're going to go in Kuray PIF revamp settings, in self battle and import. We're gonna ignore the settings about self battle because it is a tutorial about importing and exporting Pokemons, and we don't give a shit about battling our own Pokemons or somebody else's Pokemons right now, as we can't even figure out how to properly store and share our own Pokemons. Here you can decide at what level the Pokemons that you will import should be. If you let this value to default, any imported Pokemon will remain at the level they were in. If you change this value to 1, 5, 50, or 100, it will force the Pokemon to those specific levels. Import to evolve is self-explanatory. If you set this option to true, any imported Pokemon will be de-evolved. So if you had a Charizard that you import with de-evolve turned on, you will get an imported Charmander instead. This is useful if you want to export all your Pokemons from a save, and import them back in another save while de-evolving all of them, to share a new adventure together. You can mix that with the import level to force them back to level 1 or 5, to your own liking. Import without deletion will not delete the .json and .png files of the imported Pokemons, so that you can import them again in the future. If you turn this off, any Pokemon that you import will have its exported files deleted, preventing you from importing them again, as you would need to export them again first. Delete on export is like import without deletion, except that it is reversed. You need that fucker to be turned off if you don't want your Pokemons to be wiped out of existence when exporting Pokemons. If it is turned on, all the Pokemons that you export will be deleted from your storage. Export sprite on export allows you to also export a .png file with each Pokemon's. By doing so, you can guarantee that whatever Pokemon you're exporting will keep its custom appearance, and that anybody who imports this Pokemon with its appearance will see it exactly the same way as you saw it. This means that if you take a picture of your genitals and make it the sprite of the Pokemon, then share the exported Pokemon with its custom sprite of your reproductive organs, anyone that import this Pokemon, and that have the import sprite feature turned on, will be able to see how much of a fucked up being you are before asking for your OnlyFans. If you set export sprite to shiny, this will shinify the sprite of all your shinies Pokemons. This is an advanced 1000 IQ strategy that allows you to make your game loads shinies faster, as if you export your shinies with this option set to shiny then import them back, they will become purple star shinies and they will load faster in the game, because their sprite is already shiny and the game doesn't have to generate their shininess every time that the shiny Pokemon is loaded and displayed on your fucking screen. Now, one finale thing that we want to do is go to other settings and turn debug exclusive off. By default, the import and export features are locked behind the debug mode, which requires the magic boot. However, in this tutorial we do not want to go catch 450 different species of slaves, so we're gonna save us the trouble and turn off debug exclusive instead, which will allows us to import and export Pokemons without needing debug mode. Now that we're all settled, let's open our PC storage. I'm going to grab a volunteer and demonstrate to you how to export and import your Pokemons. First, we're going to only export one Pokemon. For demonstration purpose, I'm going to isolate this kind soul into a box alone, as we will import it back in a slightly enhanced version down the line, and we're going to want to compare. You're gonna select a Pokemon and go in Kuray action, then click export. And voila, just like this we exported our first Pokemon. This Pokemon is now two separate files in our folder named exported Pokemons, which is wherever you installed your game. Let's take a peek and see for ourselves. For info, the game Kuray Infinite Fusion comes with some sample of exported Pokemons. They are in the folder Pokemon Bank. The game can process subfolders, so you can make your own folders in exported Pokemons to reorganize all your Pokemons. You can also make subfolders in subfolders as much as you would like, so go crazy in organizing your Pokemons in 10 of thousands of nested folders. There is an in-game folder navigator when importing or battling Pokemons from the exported Pokemons folder. Anyway, to go back to the point, I just selected my Pikachu's.json and .png, then I made an archive of it with WinRAR. And now that it's all okie dandy, I'm going to open our Discord and share the slave with all the community by going in the Pokemon Bank forum and making a new post exclusively for this Pokemon as a demonstration to show you how you can share one or multiple Pokemons by putting them in an archive using WinRAR or any other archiving software that you would like to use. Then anyone can simply extract the .json and the .png of the Pokemons and place them in their exported Pokemons folder or a folder inside, and then import them in their own game. Now that we've shared our buddy with everybody else, we are going to enhance it for ourselves by simply opening its .json with Notepad. The .json contains all the data of the Pokemon you exported. This also means that you can easily modify your Pokemon. For example here, I'm going to make my Pikachu into a fire and dark type before turning it into a shiny by changing the value to true. Then I'm going to give him an insane amount of 4 points in special defense and an insane amount of EV points in physical attacks. I'm also going to try to cheat the experience points and the level of the Pokemon, although the level is going to be capped at 100 by the game upon import despite me asking for it to be level 105. After this is done, I'm going to save my changes. Then I'm going to give a quick aesthetic relook to my Pikachu by grabbing a picture of my girlfriend and replacing the sprite of the exported Pikachu by that picture. All I need to do is to rename the picture so that its file name matches the file name that the exported sprite of the Pokemon had. The picture also needs to be 288 by 288 in dimensions, but in that scenario the picture of my wife is already a 288 by 288, so upon renaming the file we are good to go. It's now time to import our masterpiece. To do so we're going to select the current box's name, then select import. By default the navigator is in the exported Pokemon directory, and since we did not move our Pikachu in a subfolder but we left it directly in the root of the exported Pokemon folder, we are just going to press this folder, which tells the game that we want to import any Pokemon that is located in the exported Pokemon directory. We are not going to select this folder plus subfolders because we only want to load our Pikachu and we do not want to load the 1000 Pokemons that are in the nested subfolders in that demonstration. But if you were to select this folder plus subfolders, it would import any Pokemon that it can find in the selected folders and all the folders within it. Now upon clicking this folder you can see that our import has been successful, and just like that we got our own Pokemon imported back, with all the modifications we have made. If you do not see a custom sprite, make sure in the options that you turned on the individual custom sprite feature, as it is turned off by default, and without it your Pokemons cannot have a unique sprite. Now it's time to export our entire storage. To do so we are just going to select a box randomly, then click on export all, which will export all of our Pokemons. Now if I go back to my exported Pokemons folder, you can see that every Pokemons I had on my current team and in my entire PC storage on this save have been exported and are flooding the exported Pokemon folder. So for that reason I am going to select them and move them into a folder to which I preemptively given a really unoriginal name, so that despite me trying to organize stuff, whenever I will actually look for them I will not be able to remember in which fucking folder I have placed them. I also have given a subfolder to that folder because the more folders there is the better. Now it is time to demonstrate how the folder navigator in the game works, so we are going to import all of those Pokemons back into my save so that I have each of them twice. To do so, I am going to click on the box name, then I am going to select import. From there I am going to select the name of my folder in the choice list, then I am going to select the name of the subfolder in which I placed them, which is called Save1. By the way, I didn't specify, but the 3 dots at the top of the selection list allows you to go back to the parent folder, which means it allows you to exit from the folder it is currently in. Now I simply click on this folder and voila, now all my Pokemons are imported. One last thing before wrapping up this video, we are going to try the import randomly feature. This feature allows to import only one Pokemon randomly from the available Pokemons in the exported list. Basically the import feature will import all Pokemons it finds, while the import randomly will only import one of them randomly. To test it out we are going to select those 3 Pokemons and export them. Then we are going to select the box name and choose import randomly. Since we did not move those exported Pokemons, they are on the root of the exported Pokemons folder. For this reason we do not need to select a folder here and we can just directly press this folder. And as you can see, one of the 3 Pokemons we just exported won the lottery and has been imported with the import randomly feature. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.